home. Today we're going to make what I like to call the brick. And this is called bread pudding. Now, I'm going to give you a very, very easy, ridiculously tasty recipe for bread pudding that you can make on the fly in about an hour, and you can serve warm with ice cream, or you can let it cool down, whatever you want to do. So, without further ado, let me show you how easy this is, okay? So, here in our ingredients list we have 5 eggs, all right? We have a pinch of salt, we have sugar, vanilla, cream, breadcrumbs, evaporated and condensed milk, okay? So here's the secret today. Breadcrumbs. This is our secret for today. You're gonna be like, what? You're gonna make bread pudding out of breadcrumbs? Yeah. Hello? The main ingredient in this is bread. So, without further ado, let me show you. So we're gonna need about a cup of this, okay, to make a really nice bread pudding. So we put this up here. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to whisk our eggs. Now in this case, unlike the creme caramel, we don't mind whisking, okay? Because all of it's going to get mixed up with the breadcrumbs. Now when you're whisking eggs, remember to go side by side to side, because if you're coming up and down like you would with cream, you're not incorporating air right now. The idea here is to break up the eggs. So you want to go side by side to side here. You want to get this loose. You want to make sure that there isn't any strands of eggs. See how it's nice and wet? It's not strandy at all. Alright, so now we're going to give it a pinch of salt. We're going to hit it with some vanilla. I want to say a good solid teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. See how it changes the egg color? Just a little bit, that's what you want. Okay, now we're going to add our sugar. Now this is a serving spoon. You get these at the dollar store for about $1. See? You're going to go 3 of these. That's your serving of sugar. Okay. We have more sugar somewhere else, so keep that in mind. So we're going to mix this a little bit. We don't need our salt anymore. Now with eggs, you got to add stuff fast because it'll start. The sugar will start cooking your eggs. Okay. So we're going to add our evaporated milk, just 1 whole can of evaporated milk. And that's a 12-ounce can. 1 14-ounce can, condensed. One cup heavy cream, and then we stir. And what you want is you want to mix this really good. It should be dotted with the vanilla. If it's not dotted with the vanilla, add another teaspoon of vanilla. So let's stir it up, and we'll check it with the spoon. Now, why am I stirring it? I'm trying to dilute the sugar. Now come over here so you can see. See how it's a little, it's just a little. I'm gonna add a little bit more vanilla here. I want to say another teaspoon. How do I know it's a teaspoon? Trust me, I know it's a teaspoon. There we go. Alright, now we mix this, and now we'll check it again. You can come over here so you can see. There's a big difference now. You got to make sure you do this, because otherwise, oh yeah, look at this. See how it's nice and dotted? I don't know if the camera can see that, but it's really nicely dotted. Okay. All right. So next, we're going to take our 1 cup of breadcrumbs. Okay. Mix that in there. Mix this nicely. Like I said, this is not a creme caramel, so you want to mix this really well. Alright. Now we're going to let this sit there. Good 20 minutes. What's going to happen is, in the next 20 minutes, those breadcrumbs are going to swell. We'll come back in 20 minutes and we'll see what it looks like. Keep going. Just catch up. Let me show you what the caramel looks like real close. Now you can't really touch the pan because it's really, really hot. Okay? So that's more or less the color you want, a nice deep amber color. And this has only been here for a few minutes, but look how thick it's gotten already in just a few minutes. See? Well, I don't expect it to get too much thicker, but what I want is I want the breadcrumbs to saturate, and that's probably going to take another 5 or 10 minutes, so we'll be back. So we're back. And it's been about 20 minutes, and let me show you what's happening, okay? So right here, as you can see, it's swollen up nicely, all right? Not too much, but very nicely. Over here, our caramel has solidified. It's nice, we can handle it now, and as you can see, it's nice and hard. Now, I have it in a pan because we're gonna cook it in a bain-marie. We're gonna cook it with hot water. It's in a hot water bath. Now, the next thing we're going to do to this is we're going to add the last ingredients, which is pineapple chunks and raisins. Okay. Now, what have I done? I've taken a can of pineapples already in chunks, because, you know, believe me, I've cut up enough pineapples over my career to buy them in chunks. So I buy them in chunks, give them 1 slice down the middle, and over here I have 1 cup of raisins that I have taken the juice of the pineapples and I'm macerating them in that juice, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is, once they're nice and plump, we're going to drain them because I don't want the juice. See, what's going to happen is this is a very, very acidic. So if I put the juice in here, instantly it'll curl. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain it, and then I'm just going to put the fruit itself. Okay? So let me drain it real quick. Keep the juice contamination to a minimum. Alright, I have our raisins. Let's see. This is about a half a cup of pineapple chunks. And all you're going to do is just mix it a little bit. That's it. Rocket science. See how you got little floaters? That's the way you want it, okay? So next thing you're going to do is you're going to dump it all into this with your caramel. And make sure you spread it because your raisins, there's a good chance they're going to fall to the bottom. So if you dump it all into the center, you're going to have a lob of raisins in the center. So as you're doing it, spread it around so that your raisins can go everywhere. Okay, and you can stir it a little bit. The caramel down at the bottom is not going to die on you. So you can do this a little bit. Make sure everything is stirred up. Get rid of our mess. Now, we have a preheated oven at 325 degrees. And our next step is very simple. We're going to take a piece of foil and we're going to cover it. Okay. Don't worry about getting it tight and all that stuff. Now, never put the water in out here. Okay, if you come over here so you can see. Never put the water in here. You're going to open your oven and put your product in at the edge. And you're going to very slowly put the water in the pan. Now this pan doesn't need to move from there, just so you know. It's totally fine. Now, we're going to let that go for 1 hour and 15 minutes at 325 degrees, covered in a bain-marie. Okay? We'll come back in 1 hour and 15 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like. And let me show you what we got right as of now. So I've just pulled it out of the oven, and as you can see, it's nice and done. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take it out of the bain-marie, set it on the counter. I'm going to cover it up again because it's got residual heat and it's going to continue to cook on the counter for another hour, and then it's going to start to come down. It's going to come down to room temperature, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator overnight. We'll come back tomorrow morning and I'll show you what this looks like. We're back and it's the next morning and it's been resting. It's been in the fridge covered nicely. Now we're going to flip it and unveil it so you can see it. So I'm going to grab a butter knife here. Stay there. Okay, I'm going to run it all the way around it. You can do that a couple times just to make sure. Now you see how it's not moving. Now come around over here and you'll see. I'm going to place it on the heat. Yes, I have asbestos fingers. Okay, so now what we're going to do is at the bottom there's a layer of sugar. Now the layer of sugar, once it gets really cold, it turns into candy and it sticks. So what happens is we need to heat it up. the second it gets hot, it solidifies and it gets loose. And you'll see that in a second. Okay. Let's turn off the heat. Come over here. Still not, it's a little swishy, but not quite. So we'll give it a second or two more. And I don't want to hit this with high heat either, you know? I don't want to start cooking it again. So my only objective here is to melt the sugar so that it doesn't stick anymore. And this will only take a second or two more. At this stage, we'll see. Yep, it's already starting to move. See? See how it's jiggling? That's ready to go. Alright, so we have jiggle. See, once we have jiggle, you take your, this is your end plate right here. In this case, it's my end plate. You can find yourself a nice tray, a nice plate, or serving dish, or whatever you want. Something usually bigger than than what you're serving. Okay, so if you're, remember this is going to have a little bit of spill off. So yeah, that's a little hot. So let's use the towel. Shake it a little bit, and there it is. There is our bread pudding with raisins and pineapples. So let me find a little tray here. Got a nice little slice. Let's taste this bad boy. Now, this is what I like to call bread pudding 101. Bread pudding on the fly. Okay. In our next bread pudding video, I'm going to show you how to have warm bread pudding. Now, you can serve this warm if you like. Personally, I don't think it'll be the same. This particular bread pudding is the kind of bread pudding you get at a bakery in South Florida. You're going to get bacon, you're going to get raisins and pineapple in a pretty much a leftover bread setting. Okay. This, since we made with breadcrumbs, we did it really, really fast. You didn't have to make bread. You didn't have to get stale bread. You didn't have to get any of that. You could just get a can of breadcrumbs. Okay. As you see. Now, let's give this a bad boy a taste. And see how we did. This is a phenomenal way to make a super, super good, super easy dessert. I mean, this is fast. This is done in an hour. The rest is the fridge, and it's absolutely spectacular. So give it a try. And remember, learn to cook, and you'll eat better for the rest of your life.